Hello everyone, it's Lucas KO Bro, here with my fourth TF2 video. I want to take a moment to tell everyone I am so very sorry. I inadvertently ended up taking a very long break from my usual video a week habit that I'd developed over the past couple weeks. Basically, what happened was I went out of town for Christmas, and shortly after, by the time I got back from my vacation with my family, ended up having to spend time with friends because, you know, a pro gamer's gotta have a social life too, right? After that came New Year's Eve, and then shortly after that, classes started back up. So I went from posting one video a week to having this big, like, 15 or 20 day break from posting videos. I was feeling so bad about it. I was trying my hardest to try and keep working during all these events that were occurring in my life, but I would literally come home and fall asleep while watching a demo, or just, you know, I would literally watch a good clip on the demos and say, oh, that wasn't impressive, just because I was tired and thought something was not as impressive as it really was. I'd watch it later and it might not have been in the best clip, but it wasn't bad at all. And so I had to just force myself to stop working on the demos and recording process while I was tired. I just had to force myself to realize that when I was less busy, I would get back to it. And so here I am. Another video is released. I know, it's so exciting, right? I'm very excited to release this because this was like the content. All of these games were recorded either before or right after New Year's. And so I've been super excited about releasing this stuff. I mean, on top of the 80 plus videos that I have just waiting for me to edit, I had these sitting here. These videos include the Spy-Cicle, and it's a new knife, so I wanted to release this video as soon as possible to show the viewers exactly what you can expect from it. It's a very fun knife. In this video, I'm using the Dead Ringer with the Enforcer and the Spy-Cicle. I also am super excited because I have some default cloak and cloak and dagger cloak with the Spy-Cicle that I think I'll be releasing for my next video. So stay tuned for that. As far as the Spy-Cicle goes, it's a very fun knife. The loadout, if you use the Dead Ringer and the Spy-Cicle, it is very defensive for a spy loadout. It is hilarious what you can do with it. You can do some crazy shit with it. There's just no better way to put it. Now, it does take some getting used to. When you're using the Spy-Cicle, you can't just, you know, pull out your knife willy-nilly. You have to willy-nilly. It sounds like something my father would say. You have to time when you want to pull it out, because if you have it out at the wrong time, the immunity to fire will be used poorly. Basically, when you're fighting pyros, I prefer to have the Dead Ringer out, because if you're trying to escape from them, because it's more important that the Dead Ringer gets hit first, because then you can switch it to your knife and juke the pyro, because he won't be able to see you for a few seconds. If you use it too early, when you go to use your Dead Ringer, if you're trying to escape from a pyro, you'll be visible. You'll be in stealth as a Dead Ringer, but there'll be flames around your body, you know, of course, because you're on fire. So that's why I prefer to, when trying to escape from a pyro, pull out my Dead Ringer first and use the knife while already cloaked. Also, with the Spy-Cicle, it makes fights with pyros much easier one-on-one. You can do some silly things against a pyro. You can run up to a pyro and face stab him several times, and then when he finally turns to put you on fire, depending on how poor the pyro is or how aware he's being at the time, you can become fire immune and then switch to your pistol and finish him off. It's the most fulfilling thing to do to a pyro, especially since for years Pyro has been your worst enemy. Now granted, once, with the release of the Dead Ringer, this was diminished quite a bit, but for those of you, those spies of out there that have used the default loadout for a long period of time before TF2 started releasing items as I have, it's so fulfilling to just, compare what Pyros used to do to you as compared to now. With the Spy-Cicle, Pyros are not near as big of a threat as other classes. What I've also noticed is that it's kind of like the opposite. The Spy-Cicle is kind of like the opposite of a Dead Ringer. Dead Ringer protects you from everything but fire. Spy-Cicle protects you from only fire. But quite frankly, if you're doing your job right, everything but fire can be avoided to a certain extent as a spy. Now, Dead Ringer is still a necessity in certain games, especially in games where a lot of spamming is going on. When I'm playing a spy, I never play with more than about 26 players in a server, because about 13 per team, depending on how big the map is, it starts being very hard to counter just random spam that occurs in those games. I never play in the 30-person servers just because it's ridiculous how easy it is for you to be countered as a spy. But that being said, fire is, until this knife was released, fire was definitely your worst enemy. It's the easiest way for you to die or be revealed, as far as I'm concerned, depending on who you're facing. Sure, if you're facing an aware soldier or an aware heavy, that, especially one that mains a spy and knows what you'll be doing, they will make your life a living hell. But hopefully you're not. I faced a heavy that knew what he was doing and just countered the hell out of me the other day, and it made me so mad because I couldn't do anything with him countering me the whole game. But oh well. Overall, my games have been pretty decent. Even the games where the teams are stacked against me, I've still managed to usually come out ahead, at least towards the top of the scoreboard, if not at the top, like I usually am. Now granted, these are not professional servers, I'm not against the best of the best, but I'm still against some pretty good players, and managed to do pretty well with this loadout, with the Dead Ringer and Spy-Cicle and Enforcer. My gosh, it is definitely one of the easier loadouts I've had. Well, not necessarily easier, but it's more forgiving of errors. Your ratio will be higher than it normally will because it's so forgiving of a build, so much of a forgiving build. I've had times while experimenting with the Spy-Cicle, especially with the default cloak and the cloak and dagger. I'll get to that. I'll show you a video of that later. I've had times where I'm just running around and get hit with random pyro fire from a pyro attacking another player and manage to survive it just because it's like I had out my knife and just instantly became fire immune. It's a really great feeling. It's an interesting way to play. It's kind of weird getting used to having to pay attention to what you have pulled out, your knife or your pistol. It's kind of a weird thing to force myself to get used to, and I have to admit, the first game when I started playing, it took me 5 or 10 minutes to adjust to when I'm fighting a pyro. Once the knife is gone, I have to instantly pull out my gun and blast them, or else I'm worthless. Or, you know, if I'm not doing that, at least evade the pyro. It's very strange, because normally when I'm put on fire, if a pyro is chasing me and I'm out of my cloak, there's nothing I can do normally, you know, aside from just hope for a side stab or get lucky with my pistol. So it's very refreshing to be able to just casually pull out my pistol while backing away from him, evading his fire, and just shoot him, shoot him dead. It's so great, you know? It's so much fun, you know, for a video game, guys. Come on, not shooting someone in the face in a video game, hilarious fun. Shooting someone in real life, no, that's bad. Don't do that. That's I'm not saying go out and kill people. No, I'm saying, you know, do your best in a video game. If it's a first-person shooter, shooting people kind of comes with the territory. I can just imagine, depending on where my roommates are in my house, I can just imagine their thoughts as they hear me talking about how fun it is to shoot people. And oh well. I just had a blast using this loadout. I'm not sure if it will replace my normal loadout or not, because one of the biggest downers about this build, or just using this Spy-Cicle in general, is your lack of being able to stair stab pyros. One of the biggest things I've been trying to focus on in my videos is stair stabbing, and actually I think I get anywhere from 3 to 4 stair stabs in this video, all of them from one day. I felt really proud of myself because, like I previously mentioned, stair stabbing hasn't been something I've really done a lot. Usually I just work on placement and killing someone with my pistol. So getting more proficient at this is making me really excited. I've been playing the Spy class for years, and picture being very proficient in a lot of the Spy's different abilities, except for stair stabbing. It's just something I didn't do, and now that I've started doing it, it's so much fun. It's such a great feeling to accomplish. It really shows off how experienced of a spy you are when you can accomplish it. But like I said, trying to do that to a pyro is very hard. Pyros go from being your #1 favorite class to bait up a stairway to being your worst when you have the Spy-Cicle, because they're suddenly a threat. If your knife is removed, you're in trouble. You can't do anything to them except from jump over their head and try and run away. So to be able to stair stab pyros with the Spy-Cicle, you either have to find an oblivious pyro, an inexperienced pyro, or do it from around a corner so they don't see it coming. And this is rather hard to do. I'm, for my stair stabs, used to either baiting someone up the stairs or doing blind leaps, and it's hard to just, you know, catch a pyro in that scenario, because a lot of the hills in this game are in favor of the defense, as they should be. But I've been having a blast. Despite using the Spy-Cicle, I've still been able to get many good stair stabs in. It's so much fun. You get to turn people into ice statues. It's so great. I love getting into situations where I'm just killing people in the same area, because you just see people walk up to these statues and just think, oh shit, there's a spy here, right before they get stabbed themselves. Oh, it's such a blast. Anyway, this has been Lucas KO, bro, with my thoughts on the Spy-Cicle. Now please, oh my gosh, please comment, rate, subscribe. If you like this video, just give it a like. It takes a few seconds. If you want to see more, subscribe and you will see plenty more. Oh, thank you so much, guys. It's so great to see the support. Every single subscriber is just so much more motivation to keep going with these videos. So I just want to take a moment and thank you guys. Yeah. Happy holidays.
My asshole will be very cold at the end of this round. Mission begins in 30 seconds.